Before the riches came, Patrick and Clara shared a life of little. Their home was a leaking two-room shack at the edge of town. Rats scurried through the ceiling. Rain turned the floor to mud. But it was a home of love. Every evening, Clara warmed yam porridge over firewood. She served it with a smile that made Patrick feel like a king. One night, he came back from a failed business trip. His clothes were soaked from walking in the rain. He collapsed on the floor, defeated. Clara crouched beside him. "You'll get there, my husband. Just don't lose heart." Patrick looked up at her. "Clara, what if I never succeed?" She brushed his wet hair back. "Then I will eat hope. Even hope cooked with tears is better than pride baked in betrayal." Each night she told him, "You'll make it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But you'll make it. I see it." And one day, he did. With patience and luck, his business took off. He bought land, then another, then a house, then cars. Patrick's name echoed in parties and meetings. The man who once borrowed money for food now wore imported suits. He no longer came home in muddy slippers, but in tinted SUVs. And with that success came Emma. Emma was beautiful in the way a knife is sharp, thick, polished, dangerous if held the wrong way. They met at a business dinner. Red lips, gleaming eyes, laughter like music. Within 6 months, Patrick had taken her as a second wife. He married her without warning. Claire did not argue. She didn't protest. She didn't shout. She simply smiled and nodded. "If this is what makes you happy," she said. Even as her voice broke, she moved into the guest room. Still woke before dawn. Still prepared his bathwater. But Emma declared war in silence. She mocked Clara's simple ways, laughed at her wrappers, her quietness, her habit of praying aloud in the mornings. One afternoon, Clara walked into the living room, a tray of drinks in hand. Emma leaned toward Patrick. "Your first wife serves us like a maid," she whispered. "Isn't that embarrassing?" Patrick didn't respond. But he didn't defend Clara either. The more Emma whispered, the more Patrick began to see Clara through her eyes. Old, plain, unworthy. "She doesn't talk," he said one evening. "She's always praying or cleaning. No passion. No spark." Emma smiled sweetly, massaging his shoulders. "You deserve someone who matches your level now. Someone who makes you feel alive." That was all she needed to say. Patrick's love for Clara dimmed, like a candle in the wind. He stopped sitting with her, stopped asking about her day. He became a ghost. In the house she helped build, Emma grew bold. She insulted Clara openly. Once, when Clara placed food on the table, Emma sneered. "You still think you're a wife? You're just an old memory, squatting in a corner." Clara said nothing. Her silence became her shield. Then came the night at the bar. Patrick sat with his friends. The air smelled of grilled meat and beer foam. "My second wife is a jewel," he said proudly. "She gives me peace. Clara just exists." One of his friends, Mike, frowned. "You speak like a man who has forgotten where he came from." Patrick's voice rose. "What does that mean?" "Clara was with you when you had nothing," Mike said. "Emma came after your name appeared in newspapers." Patrick waved him off. "Loyalty doesn't mean love, my brother." Then Sam spoke. "Test them. Pretend to be dead. Disappear. Hide your assets. See who grabs. And who mourns." At first Patrick laughed. But that night, the idea lingered like smoke. By morning, The plan was ready. Fake documents, property deeds, bundles of money, all forged. Without a word, he left the house with Sam and disappeared. The next afternoon, Clara's phone rang. "Madam, madam," the driver shouted. "Olga has been shot. Kidnappers took his body." The phone fell from her hands. Clara screamed so loud the cook rushed in. She ran barefoot into the street, shouting his name. She went to the police, cried at the hospital, knelt in church, paid a herbalist. She did not eat. She did not sleep. He searched like a madwoman, looking for her soul. Meanwhile, Emma tiptoed into Patrick's study. She opened a drawer and smiled. "Everything," she whispered. "Everything he owns." She folded the documents, called someone. "I want a lawyer," she said. "Transfer everything to my name." She did not shed a single tear. By day 3, Clara fainted at the gate. A neighbor helped carry her inside. On the 4th day, Patrick returned. He stepped into the compound. Emma was dragging a suitcase to a car. She froze. You're alive?" Patrick's eyes locked on the bag. "What's in the case?" Emma stammered. "Nothing. I was just trying to protect your property. People would have looted the house." Clara stepped out from the house, face pale, lips cracked, barefoot. When her eyes met Patrick's, she stumbled back. "Patrick, you're alive." He rushed to her. "Clara, I'm sorry." She collapsed into his arms, crying so hard it shook her shoulders. "I thought they killed you. I went everywhere. I know. I saw. I made a terrible mistake." Emma looked between them. Her face twisted. Patrick turned to her slowly. "You didn't cry. You didn't search. You stole." "I was only trying to secure our future." Patrick opened the suitcase. Fake money. Fake papers. False hope. He looked at her one last time. "You've secured your exit." That was the first time Clara looked him in the eyes again. Not with anger. Not with love. But with something deeper. Disappointment. Clara sat on the edge of the bed, staring blankly at the wall. Her wrapper had slipped off her shoulder. She didn't fix it. Her eyes were red and swollen, lips dry. The woman who once held her home together now looked like an abandoned shrine. Patrick stood in the doorway, unsure whether to step in. "Clara." She didn't look at him. He came closer. "I was a fool." So she didn't move. "I let another woman turn me against the one person who ever truly cared for me." Her voice came at last. "Go and say all this to Emma. I'm sure she'll appreciate the poetry." Patrick dropped to his knees beside her. "I swear to you, it wasn't just a test of your love. I needed to know who I had become. I needed to see it." She finally turned to him. Her face held no anger, only exhaustion. "You didn't need to fake your death to know I loved you, Patrick. You just needed to remember the man I married. The one who once held my hand and said, 'Even if we sleep hungry, we'll sleep together.'" He bowed his head. "You buried me while still alive. Not with earth, but with betrayal. I'll make it right." She stood up slowly. "I don't want promises. I want space." "Are you saying you want to leave?" "I want peace. For the first time in years." Outside, Emma was sitting on a plastic chair, arms crossed, bitter smirk on her face. "So you're back. Very theatrical. Should have brought cameras." Patrick approached her. "You're leaving this house today." Emma stood. "I was your wife. You can't just toss me out. You were never a wife. You were a wolf in silk. She rolled her eyes. Clara has poisoned you with pity. That woman is nothing but a ghost in your life. He pointed at the gate. Take your things. Go. Emma raised her chin. And what if I tell people this was all a setup to disgrace me? A rich man and his jealous first wife framed the second to reclaim control. Then tell them. But take this with you. He reached into his pocket and threw down the bundle of fake documents. Emma stared at it. What's this? Lies. Like your love. Like your tears. She knelt, flipping through the bundle. This is fake. He didn't answer. He simply turned and walked away. Later that night, rain poured heavily. Clara stood by the kitchen window, watching the droplets slam against the dusty glass. She didn't hear Patrick come in. I asked the driver to take her to the park. She didn't respond. Clara, do you want me to leave the house too? She looked down. You already left a long time ago. Now you're just standing in the space you abandoned. I know. Thunder rumbled outside. I should hate you. I deserve it. But I don't. I'm just tired. He came closer. Then let me do what I should have done years ago. Let me be the one who carries the tiredness. She turned to face him. Do you remember the night I sold my mother's necklace to buy you transport fare to Abuja? He nodded slowly. Yes. And do you remember how we sat outside under the mango tree with no food, laughing about the future? I remember every detail. She breathed deeply. I want that man back. I buried him under ego and foolishness. But I swear, Claire, I'm digging him out with my bare hands. There was silence. Then Claire moved past him. We'll see. The days passed. Emma did not return, though gossip reached the house. Some said she had married another man, barely 2 towns away. Others said she'd gone to a herbalist to curse Patrick. But Clara said nothing. She cooked. She cleaned. But never smiled. One morning, Patrick entered the kitchen and found her frying plantains. She didn't speak. I enrolled the children at the school you once mentioned, the one with the after-school reading club. Still, she didn't answer. I also called your brother in Enugu. I sent him something. She flipped the plantains. Clara, do you still want me? She turned slowly, holding the frying spoon like a staff. Want you? Yes. He studied his face. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But you can start by acting like a man I might one day forgive. He swallowed hard. How? By never lying to me again. I swear. She raised the spoon. Don't swear. Just do. That evening, Patrick washed the car himself. He bathed the children. He joined Clara in the kitchen and stood awkwardly, unsure of what to touch. Chop the onions, she said without looking. He grinned. Yes, Ma. The morning was quiet. Clara walked through the backyard, bare feet brushing the dew on the grass. She wore a white wrapper and a loose blouse, her scarf tied low over her ears. Her eyes scanned the horizon, without purpose. Patrick was already awake, scrubbing the boys' school shoes. Sweat beaded his forehead. The maid walked past and paused. Olga, let me do it. He shook his head. No. This one is for me. When Claire came inside, the children were seated, their uniforms neat, hair brushed, shoes gleaming. They were laughing. She looked at Patrick. You didn't iron their shirts properly. He smiled faintly. Then teach me. She said nothing and turned to leave. But one of the children called out, "Mummy, Daddy said he's taking us to school today." Patrick stood quickly. "If that's okay?" Clara nodded. "Fine." After they left, she sat at the dining table, folded her arms, and closed her eyes. Peace was beginning to return, but the wound remained. She needed to feel like her heart had voice again. She needed clarity. The doorbell rang. It was behinHe, an elder in the women's union. She came in uninvited as usual. "Clara, my daughter," she said, settling in a chair. "I heard Emma went back to her village." Clara raised an eyebrow. "And you came here for what, celebration?" "No, no." behinHe waved her hand. "I came to tell you something strange. Yesterday I saw Emma. Not in her village. Not alone. She was at the church in Ojoto." Clara stiffened. What was she doing there? "She was praying," behinHe said, "and seeking some kind of spiritual intervention. She was asking for power. To destroy your peace." Clara stood. "And you're only just telling me?" "I came as fast as my legs could carry me." That evening, Clara lit a candle. Before the Bible in her room, she knelt and whispered a prayer. Not of fear, but of strength. In the living room, Patrick was stitching the torn pocket of one of his old shirts. He looked up as Clara entered. "Emma went to Ojoto," she said flatly. He dropped the shirt. "What?" "She's seeking revenge. Through prayers or something." His fists clenched. "I'll handle it." "No," Clara said. "This one is for me." He went to her box and brought out a small worn Bible with gold lettering. She handed it to him. "What's this?" he asked. "My mother gave it to me before she died." Clara said, "It's for protection. You'll bury it under the mango tree tonight." "Not me. If you really want to earn this family again, start with this." Patrick took it with both hands, eyes wide with understanding. That night, under the heavy shadows of the mango tree, Patrick knelt beside the trunk. He dug with trembling fingers. Mosquitoes buzzed in his ears. Sweat dripped from his chin. When the earth was loose enough, he placed the Bible inside and covered it. He whispered, "Let no evil enter this home again." Days passed. Nothing strange happened. Then one afternoon, as Clara returned from the market, she saw a crowd outside the house. "What's going on?" she asked. The gatekeeper ran to her. Madam, they caught Emma." She came with two men, pretending to be health inspectors. They tried to break into the house. Clara dropped her basket and ran inside. Patrick was already there. The intruders were kneeling in the courtyard, tied with ropes. Emma looked up. Her makeup was smeared, her hair loose. She looked wild. "Let me go. He lied to me. He said I was the only one." Patrick approached her slowly. "You betrayed your own lie, Emma. This house no longer has a door for you." He spat on the ground. "You think this woman is better than me? Just because she cried and ran around like a mad dog when you disappeared." Clara stepped forward. "Come, affirm." "No, I'm not better. I'm just not wicked." Emma backed away slowly. Her eyes flickered with fear, turned, and fled. The compound was quiet again. Patrick looked at Clara. "You could have let her suffer." "I've suffered enough for both of us," she replied. That night, as they sat outside under the mango tree, Patrick handed Clara a small wrapped parcel. "What's this?" she asked. He didn't speak. She opened it. Inside was her mother's old necklace. The one she had sold for his bus fare. All those years ago. Her breath caught. "Where did you get this?" "I searched," he said. "For weeks. I found it at a pawn shop in Abakpa. Bought it back with my last savings." Tears welled in her eyes. She touched the pendant gently. "You remembered." "I forgot many things," he said. "But I'm trying to remember again." She looked at him. Long and hard. "I can't promise things will be how they used to be," she said softly. "I don't want them to be," he replied. "I want them to be better." She smiled faintly and put the necklace around her neck. He reached for her hand. "Will you stay?" "I've always stayed," she said. "But now, I choose to."